Hey guys, welcome to this jQuery tutorial for beginners video, and this is the first video in a series of jQuery tutorials for beginners. So what you'll get from this video is, one, you'll get an understanding of what jQuery is and what it is not. Two, you're going to get to know what the difference is between JavaScript and jQuery. And three, you're going to learn what mindset you need to have to actually be able to code in jQuery successfully. So the prerequisites for this video are, one, that you have a basic, or at least a very basic knowledge of HTML and some JavaScript, and two, that you know some of the basics of programming. So pretty much all you need to know would be variables, loops, and functions. So let's just get right into it. So one is an understanding of what jQuery is and what it is not. So all jQuery is that it's a library that makes writing JavaScript easier. It's not a programming language. It's not a framework. You don't need to learn a bunch of new things. It's just an easier way to write JavaScript. And specifically what it is, jQuery has a set of built-in functions that make it so it does a lot of the JavaScript for you, and then you can just focus on writing the code that you want to write. So the thing that you need to understand and take away from this video, if there's only one point, is that anything that can be done in JavaScript can also be done in jQuery, and anything that can be done in jQuery can also be done in JavaScript. They're pretty much one and the same. The only reason jQuery exists is it's because it makes it a lot easier to write the same JavaScript code in jQuery than it would be to write it in pure JavaScript. So let me show you an example. Right, so in this page right here, I went ahead and I included jQuery, and I have a basic header, and I have an ID here for my header, so I can modify it with jQuery or JavaScript. So hopefully you understand and know that all HTML is a set of markers that is used to indicate what you can and can't modify. So by adding this marker of ID equals foo in the HTML, I can directly go here and I can modify this element of my header right here, right? And then if you don't know, if you right click inspect, you'll bring up and you go to the Elements console on Chrome, you'll be able to see this Chrome developer tool, and then you can see specifically what this ID of foo is actually highlighting. So right here I have the JavaScript console, and if I want to run some JavaScript, so I already have it, this is pure JavaScript. So what I'm doing is I'm saying grab the document, grab foo, so this will search the document and into foo, and then it'll change the inner HTML into this text B. So if I do that, it works, right? But this is quite a bit of code to do something very basic, right? And if I did this in HTML, in jQuery, all I would do is pretty much the same thing. Is I just use the $, and then I put what to search for. So this hash means ID. So $. So this right here is the jQuery. So it's I'm saying, hey, search for foo, and then anything after that is saying, hey, then do this operation to it. So it's saying find foo, and then make its HTML equal blah. So you could see this is a lot easier to write. And it just pretty much all you do in jQuery is you search for what you want to do, and then you put a dot. So here's so this is the jQuery. Anything within this parentheses I search for, so foo, and then anything after dot I put what I want to do to it. And that's pretty much how jQuery works. It's very simple. The last thing I want to cover in this video is the mindset you need to have to be able to code in jQuery, and I kind of hinted at it here. So you only need to know two things to be successful in coding in jQuery. One is this first part right here of pretty much how to search for what you're looking for, right? So specifically, it's how to search through the DOM to then find and then modify any specific HTML element. So I can modify this foo, I can modify this link, I can modify the href of this, I can make anything, right? So you have to be able to know how to search for a certain thing, and then the searching is done by, so anytime you want to use jQuery, use a $, parenthesis, and then two I forgot what these are called, but yeah, two quotes, single quotes, right? So then you just put whatever you want to search for. So if I want to search for ID name, so hashtag, and then you put the ID name. You can do classes, class name. You can search for, this would do all the paragraphs, etc. So pretty much you have to understand how to search for specific things. And then once you do that, then the second thing you have to understand is this dot operator. So there are a bunch of built-in functions into jQuery, and you need to know what these are and what specifically you can and cannot do with it. So you can modify the HTML by putting in blah or whatever. You can change CSS, you can make things whatever. And then the last thing you need to know, so this is pretty much, you can, by understanding these two things, you can manipulate any HTML pages the way you want. But the last thing is you need to also understand that jQuery allows you to do something else, which is it allows you to handle browser events. So specifically, what I mean by that is if you have a button and you click on it, if you have a form and you submit it, if you load something, if you press your keyboard down, if you enter your mouse somewhere, right? These are all events. And jQuery is pretty cool because what you do is, so this is it's in jQuery code. So all you do is you say, hey, so you put whatever you want. So let's say on ID name on. So this is just the general syntax, right? And I'll show you specifically with an example. And then you put a function. And then do stuff you want here. So this is pretty much the, let's see. I'm going to keep it here so you can easily see it. Okay, so pretty much how jQuery works is once you know how to go and search through things and do the built-in functions, then you can do stuff like, whenever ID name, so let's say specifically I do whenever foo is clicked, right, on click, then I can say do something, I don't know, alert I was clicked, right? Or I can say, let's see, and then foo would refer to the specific part right here, right? So then I could do whenever, I don't know, foo is hovered on, then I can do, I don't know, let's say change the background color to blue or whatever, right? Or console.log hi, right? So jQuery, all you need to know and memorize pretty much is this format. So you put what you want to search for on the event name, and then you put a function, anonymous function here, and then you just put whatever code you want in here, and then it'll pretty much run it. So common event names that you need to know would be like click, it would be key press, submit, load, let's say double click, if you double click on something, key down, change, resize. So this is if you want to resize the window, if you double click, whatever, if you focus on something, mouse enter. So what you need to do is, if you want to learn jQuery, or if you want to learn JavaScript or any web development, you're going to have to familiarize yourself with all these different things, and then remember the syntax. And then as soon as you do that, and you know specifically how to put the HTML to mark things up, you're pretty much solid. And that's all you need to know to be very solid as a developer in jQuery. So with that being said, that's the end of this first video.